Okay, so it's been a little while now, but let's hop into some replays. First one I have is Olaf vs Sion, and spoiler alert, I did pretty well. I'll upload one later where I did like the opposite. I just basically died repeatedly in lane, but we still managed to secure the win, and it's not just because like other people carried. Like, one of the important skills on Olaf is not just how to do well in the early game, but also how the fuck do you play the game when you've done utter garbage early game. So I'll just toggle the vision after this little adventure is over. We see the Ezreal after invading, but all we get is a flash, which is not bad, but it's like not that interesting. So toggle blue. Okay. In terms of champ select, who picked first, I think Sion picked first and I picked Olaf into it. Because I wasn't really sure what to pick, honestly. Like, we really needed like a magic damage top laner, but I didn't really want to play any of my magic damage top laners into this particular comp. So I ended up with Olaf. Just here I check the bush with Q. Half of that is I can potentially fake a little bit of leash by having reduced mana. The other part is just making sure he's not cheesing his Q, like charging up in the bush. So since he wasn't there, and based on the pings, I figured probably a red start, Sam's going to be there. He was, and this bit I'm just going to pause real quick so that I can actually talk you through it. So I saw that he was missing a bit of health, i.e. it's going to take a couple less autos to kill him. And then I got another Q on him before the proper lane started, so that's again just making it easy to kill him. And I'm just going to back up here so you can see that all again. I'm going to unpause. So he's missing nearly 100 health, and now he's missing 150 health. He's going to regen some of that back up. He's going to go to just missing 100 health. But then the important part is I see he has W. W is like really terrible to start with on Sion. Because this means you have no pressure, and so we'll just back up and I'll show you in slow motion what I did on that kill. So it's pretty standard, like just X, auto attack, cancel the animation on the auto attack, and then, you know, just keep repeating that, just keep walking forward. And like, this doesn't have to be a situation where I commit to it, but then he turns around, he tries to stay for the grass proc, I guess, and that's what kills him. So let's just zoom in on this. So you Q, you flash before the animation is even finished, and then you just auto attack. Or if you need more damage than an auto attack, you can E, but obviously I'm level 1, I can't E. And also, if you are at low health and auto attack, the time between the animation starting and the damage applying is much higher. What the fuck? Why did that TP not display? What the fuck? It did not do that in game, so I guess the replay is fucked. But yeah, so if you're low health, the auto attack is actually a lot faster than an E. The E is fixed time at 0.25 seconds, I believe. An auto attack will, despite this number, ignore this number because this number is how many times you auto attack per second. It has like almost nothing to do with how long the time is between when your animation starts and when the damage hits. The damage comes out pretty fast when you're even at just like near 1 attack speed. So I started playing really far back because I didn't want to give Talia a kill because I just burnt my flash on this. Sion did not burn his flash, so I like wouldn't be able to do much there if I got ganked. So I just play back, but then Talia shows mid, but like by the time she shows mid, my wave is like not great. I could have potentially, if I was feeling really spicy, I could have contested him on that wave despite him having the bigger wave. And I would probably win that fight. It's just not, like, it would have been an unnecessary risk. Because again, I didn't have flash, he had flash. So even though Talia was mid, let's say I just fuck up the Q or something, like there's no particular reason to. force that. I already have a lead. I don't need to take a risk on that particular play, so I just play further back. If I was slightly better, maybe the correct play is to fight him on the wave. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, that's what I did. So I have TP disadvantage slightly because he TP'd earlier than me. He still has flash, so I'm not really looking to kill him in the short term, especially because Talia could come and kill me still. My items are pretty good. Kindle Gem and Longsword. I keep moving the camera, so it keeps moving off directed cam. So I'm just going for some trades here. Talia's mid again, so like it's pretty safe to be fighting in this venture. I don't know why half the animations are like fucking up. My E keeps not showing correctly, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I have a health advantage. Here I could have potentially not damaged the wave as much as I did, and that would have let me freeze the wave. Yeah, in solo queue, freezing the wave can be quite dangerous because often other people on the map don't respect the freeze properly. Rek'Sai's nearby, and we can potentially dive, but also Talia, I don't know, and also I'm not level 6 yet, so I think I just tell Rek'Sai to back off. Yeah. But then, like, Sion walks up and gives Rek'Sai free initiation. I hit 6. I ding the 6 just so I can kill him in one hit. If I kill him in one hit, it means I don't have to take extra tower damage. Whether it was worth it or not, I'm not 100% sure, honestly, but it is what I did. Talia shows, but like she can't really chase me down, she's just level 4. So now I'm up 2-0. And I have nearly 1k gold, so I'll go back and probably grab a Phage. I don't need to go Dorans because I have enough gold to finish like a proper item. If I only had enough for... let's say I had 400 gold, or like, no, sorry, not 400 gold, like 800 gold instead of 850 gold, because the upgrade is 850. Then maybe I could have gone like Doran's Ruby Crystal or something like that. So that's a bit more power, but since I can complete the Phage, that's pretty good. Regardless of whether the Phage spike itself is like amazing, not delaying with another item, like a Doran's item, means that my Black Leaf will come online much faster. There wasn't really much to do on the map. Bot lane was dead. I want to translate more advantages to the rest of my team, so that's another important thing you need to do on Olaf, is once you get a lead, translate it to the rest of the team. I can't really gank Fizz. Again, bot lane just died, so the last thing left I can do on the map is bring a control ward through the dragon, and then I can just walk back to lane, because Sion disappeared. And like his Q isn't showing me, though I don't know what's up with that. Aha, Fizz gets outplayed, hashtag wrecked.
Killing spree.
So that little venture actually was not very good for me personally, because I miss out on about a wave, maybe 2 waves. And I get almost nothing out of it. I just get Cloud, which is like, who cares, basically. This isn't a lane where the ult cooldown is that important. So it's 81 seconds. Like, damn, so good. Yeah, like, in this lane you don't really trade ults. If you're in a lane where you trade ults, then the ult CDR can be more useful, but it doesn't really happen here. Land's missing, so a ward down, and I just wonder where he is, but then he just shows back up, so no worries. With Bummy Cinder and just Sion's kit itself, it's very easy for him to clear the wave. But there's also not that much I can do on the map. Like if I went mid, I'm pretty sure we can't kill the Fizz. And if I go bot, like I don't have a TP to get back to the top, so it's like very expensive for me to go down there. So my two options are to apply pressure by pushing it in constantly, and then that doesn't actually hurt Sion. That's like exactly what Sion wants me to do. In terms of Sion can just get all the farm. Alternatively, I can try to freeze it, but then that means I don't really have that much pressure. And you can see here, even with just the items he has, which is not very much, I'm having to spend a significant amount of mana just doing damage. So after trying the pressure approach, I decided to just go for a freeze. So I hold the minions up so that we can get a freeze going. Bot lane is doing about... no, bot lane's actually winning. Mid lane's slightly winning, although there is a pretty good CS advantage as well. We're up 3 big golds. Nice. I didn't see that in game. So 800 of it is top lane. Jungle was at minus 200. Mid lane is at plus 800. Wow, 80's at plus 800. That's... yeah. I don't know why they're that high. Oh, there's no plates down here. But there's only one plate missing, so I don't know. That's a bit weird. And then support's up. Holy shit, support's up 1.4. Or 1.35, I suppose. I've just popped my magic boots, which is a very greedy rune, but it is what it is. They chose mid, so I can do whatever I want. I decide we're abandoning the freeze, and I'm just gonna go back to pushing so I can apply pressure, and also so that I can back, because I can port Cleaver. And Cleaver will help me deal with Sion, who has come back with Tabai and is going to be building even more armor. So I keep an eye out. I have my TP active, so like I'm just looking at bot lane, seeing whether I need to TP or not. And also I'm waiting. No, I'm not really waiting for anything. I'm just looking for the TP. Once that's done, I just leave. Get my Cleaver in hand. I have my slightly magical boots. Like I'm pretty strong at the moment. And then just looking forward in itemization, there's a little scuffle in the river, but nothing actually happens, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Looking forward itemization wise, they have quite a lot of magic damage from Talia and Fizz, so I need to be mindful of the fact that I will need some MR as we go forward in the game. But then obviously I can't just let Ezreal hit me for free and like deal 1000 damage. So it's a bit of an awkward itemization situation for me to be in. Where if I don't build the MR, Talia Fizz will nuke me. If I don't build the armor, there's no way I can like realistically threaten Ezreal. It's like Ezreal versus Olaf. Obviously Olaf gets kited a shit ton by a good Ezreal player. And you can see like there's not really much for me to do. I can't dive to Sion without Rek'Sai. And I don't need Sion to be dove either. It's just like I can barely even do plate damage. And at this stage I don't want to freeze the wave. I want to keep applying pressure because the rest of the map is winning. When the rest of the map is winning, especially mid lane is winning super hard, I just want to make sure that this maintains pressure. So that the map is a 4v4, and the 4v4 we're winning, and that isolates the 1v1 where we're also going even at worst. I was like, this is actually slightly advantageous for Sion in terms of his farm, because he gets basically even farm for free. He does have to burn his TP because I keep doing this, but that also means, hey, he can't TP anywhere else and like fuck up our lead on the other side of that. So I just want this plate, so I just walk up and W the tower. Like, it's not like Sion can stop me from doing that. Even if he ulted me under the tower, I don't die. So it's just, I can trade some health for a plate, and it's no risk because the rest of the map just died and these guys are over here. I think I'm just going to keep doing this for a little while. You can see Sion has come back with his armor. Mid lane is like wide open. And And also, now that I still have that TP and Sion has used his TP, I can start just walking backwards, seeing if I can TP to things. But everyone just back and mid's about to reset or back off. So see if I can chase down the Sion away from the user's Q. And now it's time to commit. First I check how much damage I can deal. It looks like enough damage, so I walk next to him so that I can get the block on his ult. And once he uses that, like there's nothing else that gets hit. He doesn't have anything to stop Olaf from running him down. He does try the flash, but I can just counter flash, so free kill for me. And I'm still keeping a little bit of an eye on the map, but at no mana there's not much value in actually using a TP. And Red shits the bed. I don't know if I noticed that one in game. I think I was maybe watching somewhere else, but that was pretty rough. Shut down for Talia. Building towards Asterix. I don't, at the moment, Fizz isn't doing that well, and Talia is generally not fighting me. And Talia Sion, if they try to 2v1 me, I can probably just focus fire the Talia and kill her. So I don't feel at this stage that I'm really being pressured into building armor or MR like quickly. I don't need to build Tabi because I'm not really dying to auto attacks and I don't need the mobility. At least not yet. So it's better just to get the Asterix and get more stats. I can push the wave faster with the extra AD, I can push towers faster with the extra AD, and I can just be a B3 frontline with health, and obviously I deal more damage to champions with Asterix than with Tabi. Lucian kind of wants to dive this guy, but I just want to help out mid. This is a fight with 3 people versus 3 people. If you can impact the fight with lots of people involved, even if your impact isn't that high and you're a little bit away, it can be worthwhile. So I come over to try and help, and then Fizz joins. You can't see the fish, but it's there. And it goes really slowly. We got Fizz flash, but really we just needed to not chase that far. So in the end, my rotation has no effect, other than basically it stops them from pushing, and it's, but like counterpoint, it stops us from pushing top lane properly. If I had stayed top, it would have actually been better, but I do think the correct play was to rotate mid. Lucian needs a bit of help, so I immediately TP in, kill off the Sion, see if I can kill the Fizz, but I can't because he's really slippery. And we just get a free quick kill. Well, free, I use TP, but that's all it cost me. I'm letting Lucian hit here because he has a little bit of lifesteal, I think. Wait, let me just check. That's why I did it initially, but I'm not actually sure if he does. Oh no, okay, he does, perfect. So that just means he's less vulnerable to like his. Let's say Fizz comes back and tries to one-hit the Lucian. Now Lucian has 200 more HP than he did before, and Fizz can't really do that. Lots of people were missing on the map, so what I just did there was Q the bush before I go in toward it, and I'm just wanting to recall here. I have no mana, and I have a decent chunk of gold. But also we want to do the Herald, so I'm just topping up on my mana so that if it comes to a fight, at least I'm like full mana. Ward over the wall so that we can see them coming. Rek'Sai smartly pulls the Herald back. And then here you can see I'm actually not using my QMD. I think there's a potential, based on the number of people that are missing, that they could like try to contest it, so I don't want to lose my mana, I don't want to lose my health. We still do it acceptably fast, so the trade-off is we do it slightly slower, but we do it slightly safer by doing it slightly slower. So they still have health and mana. Morgana does a lot of damage, apparently. This bit's frustrating. So, like, earlier I said I wanted to back, but then we did Herald. And just gonna pause that instead of doing slow motion. So let's talk about my animation for a second. I did want to back and buy my Sterex, but because I missed the window of only a Sterex, like let's say I had 1200 gold, I go back and I buy a Sterex gauge. Now I have enough gold to do that and then some, but I can't get the items I want. And I'm strong enough that I don't, unless I fuck up, I can't really get caught out and killed. Either I fuck up or they overcommit and like we get a free dragon or something. So what I want to do here is I want to wait until I have 1125 gold for Sterex plus enough for MR. So another 450 for Null Magic, or what is it, 720 for a Negatron Cloak. But I don't only want MR, I also want to finish my Tabi as well, so that my profile is my resist profile is balanced. If I come back with only Sterex and MR, and then I have to stay on the map for another 5 minutes, I can't really fight Ezreal because I don't have armor. So like that was the cost of me staying to do Herald, was I either recall then and get a suboptimal back. Well, sorry, I get an optimal back, or at least close to optimal back, and then I stay on the map for 5 more minutes and then get another good back, or I stay for the Herald, and then I basically have to stay on the map a bit longer, otherwise we just lose like wave pressure for no reason. And if I stay a bit longer, which is not that high risk, then I can delay my back and get a good back eventually. Just go back to regular speed. The Fizz does some trading here, which is fine for the most part. So I go back and I'm thinking, I'm like doing the math in my head, and I think I realize I don't have enough gold. I need one more wave. So what I want to do is just like get the wave and leave, basically. But then Fizz does a really odd walk-in trade, and then he just immediately leaves. So I think, okay, no worries. He's not actually wanting to fight me. But then once his cooldowns are back, he does fight me, which in itself is not problematic. I can still win this fight, I just need to get in melee range. I need to get this Q, which I don't get. But then this is fine, because Fizz isn't doing that well. I can still win from here. And then an Ezreal ult, which is invisible, I don't know why, but an Ezreal ult actually kills me. So that was really unfortunate. I did play it slightly too aggressively. I took a couple more 100 damage before the start of the fight than I needed to, and since I didn't have this splash, I could not dodge the Ezreal ult. More than anything, I just didn't expect that play based on how Fizz was reacting. Fizz was playing very cautiously, like he was avoiding taking damage. So I didn't think he wanted to fight me, so I was just staying for the wave, and then he opportunistically did with the help of the Ezreal ult. And now that I'm not on the map, we're missing quite a lot of our frontline capabilities as well. People are fighting, but they're sort of having a bit of trouble. Because just Rek'Sai, it's difficult to really access the fight for everyone else. Vayne by some miracle survives, but then again, invisible Ezreal. That's just a replay bug. It was perfectly visible during the game. She basically just tumbled into it, died. You can see I got the back I wanted, it just ended up dying to get the timing, because again, I needed to clear the wave and just walk away. And I got the shot. Here, I don't know if we can actually kill the Fizz, if we focus the Fizz from that position, because he can Q, and if he Qs my Q like he just did there, then we can't really handle him. So I focus the Sion instead, and then I just leave. Unfortunately, focusing the Sion means we can't stay around because, you know, Sion passive, but I think it was perhaps the correct call. I'm using W on some minions to heal up. So simultaneously, they all commit to this, like past this bush, which they clearly don't have vision on. So I just come over here and start fighting. I flash over the wall to chase the Ezreal. I know I can win this fight. It's going to be kind of close, but I can win it. Except then we miss everything. So we'll go back at half speed. So I missed the initial Ezreal or Q onto Ezreal. I delay the flash slightly. I do get this important Q. This one matters a lot. Then the Morg Q misses there. And because Ezreal killed Rek'Sai on the exit, Soraka and his were no longer being pressured, and they come in during the fight. But because Vayne was also on the way, like the fight ends up being okay. This part is a little dicey, but turns out fine. We even got this splash. So you can see what I was talking about with, like, imagine if I did this fight and I didn't have Tabai. This fight I had with Ezreal, it would not even be close unless I hit that first Q. In which case it would have been close and I still would have lost it. But even with the Tabai, you can see he's just kiting me around, and because he has Iceblock Gauntlet, I have a lot of trouble dealing lethal damage to him. And I'm also forced to use E, which is going to obviously hurt myself as well. And every time you use E, not only does it hurt yourself, but if you're doing it in the middle of a sustained combat environment, like you're doing it when you're sitting there wailing on someone with W and you have your passive because you're low, whenever you do that and you cast E, you're dealing this damage to yourself, the 109, which scales with the damage that the ability deals, so you deal more as you gain AD. Not only do you deal that damage to yourself, you deny yourself the lifesteal of hitting someone, which is quite smart. Anyway, there's a bit of a weird fight going on. Again, Particle's fucked up. Talia's actually like Zonya'd there, but it doesn't show because, I don't know. Riot Games is a small indie company, you know, you can't expect a small feature like replays. It's pretty complex, you know, you have to replay back game data, the same game data you're already displaying, you have to do it the same way. It's quite difficult to do. You can't really expect such a small company to get a handle on that, so you gotta give them a bit of leeway. I'm seeing if we can get something on Soraka, but the binding misses, so you know, can't really do anything there. So I'm just gonna come out and catch the wave. See if I can get something on Soraka with a Q. I missed the Q, so back to just not really doing anything for a little while. I'm building towards, I don't even know. I'm not even sure if I knew at the time what I wanted to do. Trade top lane. So this can build into Wits, or Adaptive is pretty good against Talia as well. And then Cloth, probably I need to build that into a Bramble Vest because Ezreal is building Boar. Like, I can't really go Glory. Talia just walks in and smite steals the Baron Dragon. She does flash for it, but in doing so she leaves the Baron open for us. Which is a little dicey, because as Rek'Sai is pinging, he doesn't have his smite available. So this is a bit of an unclear situation, like there's no obvious answer about how we're supposed to play this. If we had smite, the obvious answer is just finish the Baron. But without that, we sort of have to do some awkward fighting. While we do that, Baron resets because Lucian didn't hit it. Lucian needed to just tag it as he walked by, but he didn't, so it resets to 10k. And we take ages to finish it from here because Vayne isn't there, and now Talia is here. Like, this is really dicey. Rek'Sai is dead, our jungle is dead. We can... I'm keeping Baron aggroed so that we can keep doing it. And then we're chasing the jungler off so that she can't actually participate in this nice skill. And then, dear god, I try to time my E, and again the particles are fucked up so you can't really see, but I mistimed my RE. I wanted to RE, which does just over 400 true damage at this stage. I wanted to do that to secure it, but then Vayne, I didn't calculate her damage correctly because her attack speed kept increasing during the course of the Baron hitting because of Rage Blade. Up to a stack, yes, but I did miscalculated it. Ezreal just queued it and we lost the Baron. And if you ask why we didn't just block it, we can't guarantee that the Ezreal Q is blocked because he can just use E to reposition. So that's, I mean, it's not really reliable. I fished again, particles are fucked up, I don't know why. This was a bad GP on my part. Vayne just fucked up. I tried to bail her out, but I wasn't really in a position to do that because I didn't have ult. If I had ult, maybe, but as it stands, I just gave away a TP and a kill, in addition to Vayne giving away a kill, so I made it like more than twice as bad. So what I ended up buying, I'm just gonna pause again. The fight here I had with Ezreal where he shifted over the wall, and then looking at Vayne's items and seeing she has 3.5 items, looking at Lucian's items and seeing he has 4 items, I realized that the most reliable way for us to win fights was if I, instead of diving the Ezreal, I just helped Lucian and Vayne kill whatever was in front of them, and then they can dive the Ezreal because they have the mobility to actually deal with him. So we're gonna go back to unpaused, and that's why I ended up with the Zeeks. The Zeeks I don't recommend in like every situation, and even if you're doing a fight, your role in the fight, even if your role in the fight is helping your carries instead of diving the enemy carries, it's usually still not worth picking up. Because like half the time the support is a tank, right, and they will have a Zeeks, and there's not much, like, you can't double Zeeks the same person. In this case we actually could have, if Morgana was actually just like Braum or something, right, and if she built as Braum, if she built as Zeeks, we could Zeeks Lucian and then also Zeeks Vayne. But usually you don't have an AD carry in the mid lane, and a lot of the time you do have a tank support rather than an enchanter support who will not build Zeeks. So Zeeks is, it's really good in some situations, but it's often not the right item. And real quick, one last reason I decided to build the Zeeks is because the burn effect, if you read this tooltip, is magic damage. The rest of our comp, other than Morgana, is physical damage plus I have true damage and Vayne has true damage. By putting Zeeks on one of the two AD carries, we actually gain a significant amount of extra magic damage, which will make this armor stack less effective and this armor stack less effective, and even this light armor less effective as well. So it's sort of, the Zeeks here made a lot of sense. There's my bot lane. I don't have TP because I burned it on the Vayne, so I can't immediately join the fight. I have to just walk over. While I'm walking over, I make sure I hit the wave with a Q. That just means that regardless of how this fight goes, we now have mid lane pressure. So if we're able to keep them here, and again, particles are fucking up, so this is hard to watch. But we kill the Ezreal. Oh, we kill Sion. We kill the Soraka, and we kill the Talia, and we walk away. So that's really good for us. This stage, some people are pinging bot, which is not sure about. What I think we should have done, and what some other people on my team also agreed we should have done, is go mid, because we had a wave mid already, and this means we get the inhibitor guaranteed. What we ended up doing was trying to get both, I guess. Trying to get both this inhib plus as much of the bottom lane as we can get. Based on the back timings and how quickly we damage turrets with triple AD, essentially triple AD champs. Oh, good god. It's just so weird watching this with no particles. I just wanted to kill this tower and then walk away, which I do. The reason I walked forward was to pick up my axe, because the axe is the only thing I have to potentially prevent Lucian from dying. Unfortunately, he gets killed by the invisible Ezreal again. Invisible only on the replay. It was fine in game. And you can even see it on the minimap and even hear the sound. But he gets killed by that on the exit, so that's a bit of a bummer. But we have Dragon, Baron is dead, and their base is like being flooded with supers in mid. So we don't really lose anything for it other than the kill. It's not too much of a big deal. I'm building towards probably a Wits. Gives me more MR because that's like the amount of damage coming in from Tilia and Fizz is reasonably significant, especially Tilia. If we fight over like a larger area, she can get fresh ground for her Q. That'll deal quite a lot of damage. I didn't want an adaptive which would be more effective against the Tilia because I wanted something that would give a bit more damage. Especially again, Wits and magic damage, so all this armor, well, I mean Tilia has advantages as well, but all this armor less effective once we do that. And also I want to pick up a Bramble Vest when I can because Ezreal has double lifesteal, and the Bramble Vest will help with that quite a lot because he's hitting me a lot during a lot of these fights. We're trying to set up something for top lane. This situation is quite bad. Rek'Sai is nowhere nearby, so you can't join for at least maybe 10 or so seconds. Lucian is clearing top, so he can't join for like at least 5. And Vayne is like zoned off, so she can basically not join until Rek'Sai is here. But for some reason me and Morgana are like still here. Which in itself is fine, it's just the team distribution doesn't make sense. We find a Soraka. Force her to back off. Force the Sion to back off. And Lucian goes super deep. And I just flash in to ensure that he stays alive. Because we really need to win this fight if we're pushing this hard after losing this fight over here. Morgana's getting chased down by Fizz, and like we have this sort of split moment where we don't know if we should go for this or if we should try to help Morgana. I initially go for Morgana, but that lets Soraka kill the wave with Q, and then we're just sort of stuck in the base. Because I had Sterak's up, this fight is fine. You see my Sterak's pops, and then I'm at the same health as I was before that. We ended up basically getting nothing because we tried to, well, it's not we tried to do too much, but our focus was very split. We were too indecisive. I know Soraka's like overstaying, so I go for the quick, easy kill. I know I don't have Sterak's, but Talia's like low, so she can't do too much from either. And then I get quite lucky to get the Fizz kill without dying, but even if I died to Fizz, it's still fine. Ezreal can't really chase us down. And then we do a hard move on Ezreal, which I personally did not agree with, but we did it anyway, and it turned out okay. We kill Ezreal, we lose Lucian. That's a very good trade because we can push easily versus only Sion. We can't push easily against the Ezreal, so trading one person for Ezreal is very positive. And then we just pushed away because there's still too long. Soraka, Sion can't stop us pushing. We can just pick the turrets quickly. I ult just got here. But then, because Vayne was hitting Sion, we don't actually have enough time to end the game. I'm just gonna check, 'cause I'm curious now. If Vayne was hitting the towers, would we have had enough time? Yeah, she hit minions and then she hit Sion and then she backed off. At this stage she just hit the auto hit the turret. She finally gets the first auto there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we would have ended the game if Vayne had actually played to win. It doesn't matter too much. We only lose Rek'Sai. Now we lose Morgana as well, but It's still not too bad. There is a Talia wall here, which is again the graphic just like fucked up. But, we kill the Sion and then we just walk away. Israel comes down, just not a big deal. I'm seeing if I can potentially kill this Talia. I can't just walk at her because Sion's behind her. And then Vayne condemns her away. So like I can't keep chasing her. And these guys are coming in. So if Vayne hadn't condemned her away, I think we could have killed her. But because she did, nothing really happens. I want to back here. I have TP, but these guys can't ward for me if I try back. If I just stay, I put my ult for more damage. And then this time I'm going to E slightly earlier so that I can get the last move out. If I do, it does like not that much damage, but it does 400 damage even without ults at this stage. Lucian kills himself, but he does get the kill back, so that's fine. I do finally get my Bramble Vest with my Wit's End. This is basically perfect. Because like, this doesn't have any... Yeah, well, the only weakness in this build is one I chose. I chose to go Zeke's instead of the Righteous Glory. So it's hard for me to get... Like, if I want to run Israel down, that's really hard to do. But because I don't want to run Israel down, I want my teammates to run Israel down after we clean up everything in front of Israel. This build is actually really good. And Vayne goes for a delicious Soraka. She's very tasty. And then a delicious Sion, who no doubt is also very tasty. This is delicious Vayne. I'm guessing if you check the restaurant reviews on Vayne, you would see a review by Fizz saying 5 stars, very tasty. We initially wanted to do Elder, but we kind of can't because of that. So instead, because we have vision advantage, we're just going to try to kill them. We do that successfully. I chain an axe, this one is a good axe. Rek'Sai goes super hard. This is an hourglass, which is fucked up because hashtag human company. And then I go for the Ezreal because I know that if we don't go for Ezreal now, we're not going to be able to get him before I die. The trade turns out really good. I'm just going to recall and use my TP to come back in. I ping that to my teammates so they don't like spam ping me. And this is the end of the game. We briefly think about trying to kill Soraka, but she just walks away because we don't have any damage to kill her at the town. So I just go for the game. And that is a good example of animation, especially with regard to what your role in a fight is. Swapping to a Zeke's instead of going for Righteous Glory. Like, I didn't even though Israel had the early Bork, I didn't rush the Bramble Burst, I went for the Zeke's, and I think that was a much better decision. It also splashes a little bit of MR into the build, which was important at the time, so that I can't get one shot by Talia Fizz whenever I pop ult and lose my passive MR. So there you go, hope you found it helpful.